Hi 2D1 students. We are going to work on 1-point perspective compositional arrangements today. You're going to fold your paper 3 times, just like I'll show you here in a second. Draw lines on the folds, and then you'll begin to number and follow along on each section, labeling them as you go. It's important that you know you don't have to draw everything I'm drawing, but the main parts: horizon line, vanishing point, and at least 3 free-handed boxes in each section. If you really want to use a ruler, you can. It'll just take you a little longer. So let's get started. The first thing you need to know is that I'm using a standard copier paper. If you have something different at home, that's fine, but I hope that by now you're working with white paper and not any lined paper. Remember, you can get free lined paper from me at the school. So when you fold your paper, you're going to start by folding it in half so that it's, so that it's folded like this. Okay? So now we're going to fold that rectangle in yet again, and then we're going to fold that rectangle in yet again. All right, that's 3 folds, and it's basically the size of a credit card or a student ID. Next thing you're going to do is open it up, and you should have a blank white paper that's gridded. And of course, I know this looks a little crazy and overwhelming, but you're just going to draw a line on each fold, and that will give you 8 equal sections that mimic the proportion of a paper. They're technically a little long, but that's the idea. So obviously you may need to pause your video to catch up and then continue on. So now what we're going to do is talk about the first view. This one should look very familiar to you. When you're considering your composition for your summative project, you could always stick with what we've been doing through most of our tutorials, and that's called standard view. That's just when you place your horizon line in the center of the paper as well as your vanishing point in the center and draw all around it. You can draw things that of course are up high and down low, and you can even draw things on the eye level, although we didn't do a whole lot of that in our tutorials. So this would be, again, standard view. Whenever you draw yours, remember you don't have to draw all 6 or even 7. Just give me at least 3. Do something above and something below. You notice that I freehanded it the best I could quickly, just so that I understand what I'm looking at. The second type of view I want to introduce you to is called the helicopter view. If you are to place your horizon line high up, you're moving the eye level of the viewer high up, which means they're looking down from the sky. And now suddenly that is the view we see. It's the helicopter view. We can still see all the things above, but our eye level is nearer to them, so they look more squashed on the bottom. We can see a lot more of the top of these forms. That's helicopter view. View number 3 is the opposite. It's when you place your horizon line down low, which again represents your eye level, and then you put your vanishing point still in the middle like standard view. When you do that, you're exposing more of the bottom of your forms. So this would be a great advantage if you wanted us to feel like we were on the ground level looking at whatever it is that you're showing us. View number 4 is finally moving that vanishing point to the right side of the composition. Other than that, nothing has changed. So in this view, you have a lot of the same side of these structures showing, but it's always going to be the right side of each of them. Everything on the right side of the composition is more directly in front of us, represented here with the vanishing point. This is right side, standard view. Left side standard view is the opposite. Nothing different here other than I moved the vanishing point over to the left. Viewpoint number 6 is going to be called the bird's eye view. If this intrigues you, there are tutorials online just showing you how to do bird's eye view if that's something you want to pursue for your summative. But what I want you to know is that while it's pretty convincing here, it just started as a horizon line, which again you could place really anywhere you want in the composition, and a vanishing point also could have been placed anywhere along the horizon line. Then when you place your buildings, you would start with these squares and you would bring them down and stop them at the same place so that a road can fit along their edge. And of course that could be arranged so many different ways. This might be fun if you want to show an apocalyptic scene or something major going down, or just a beautiful nostalgic place. Number 7 is the opposite of that. This is called worm's eye view. And what you do in worm's eye view is you take your converging lines right off the page so that it's as if we're laying on our backs looking up into the sky. In fact, now that I think of it, it might be helpful if I drew a few clouds out here. So these are really distant clouds. If for some reason there were clouds low, we could do that as well. Small birds or whatever is in the distance is fine. I've seen people do like giant monsters crashing into the building or planes flying over, like a wartime scene. The buildings obviously don't have to be skyscrapers. They could be any style or any object you wanted. I've even seen people do forestry situations with like a tree house. Notice that I dashed the horizon line because it's a functional piece we would need to do the composition. However, in the end, that's something you would definitely want to take out of your sky along with your vanishing point. Now we're on to viewpoint number 8. This one I just call the tunnel view, and since I put the vanishing point in the upper right, I said upper right tunnel view. But the tunnel view is the main idea here. So you do these circles, they get bigger and bigger as they come away from your vanishing point. Remember, the horizon line and vanishing point are placed wherever you want them to be. The only rule is that that vanishing point has to be on the horizon line somewhere. So once you have that set up, you do your rings coming away from it. One thing I would encourage you to do is put them close together and then spread them out wider and wider as you go. I didn't quite accomplish that because I was rushing. And then when you put your other forms in there, which you'll end up doing for more points, you can place them high or low. You just overlap your existing composition. And it looks like they're flying through, going down or up that tunnel. So guys, this I hope opens up your creative thinking about how you might set up your drawing. Remember, your version of this does not have to be technical and like done with a ruler, and you only need to have 3 boxes per section. So freehand those in quickly and focus on how the viewpoints are changing, making sure that you're labeling each one. If you don't have colors around to do the vanishing point and horizon line, that's okay. I think you'll still get the idea. And good luck, guys.